After a dormancy period of about 5 years from 2015 to 2020 due to a string of mediocre and sometimes downright awful games, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise made a surprise triumphant return in the miserable year that was 2020. In a year fought with all sorts of crap, this game was a silver lining on an otherwise cloudy year. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 plus 2, or 1 and 2. This game was originally announced on May 12, 2020, kind of out of left field. Developed by Vicarious Visions and published by Activision, the game later came out on September 4th, 2020 for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The PC port sadly was an Epic Games Store exclusive, and still currently is as of this writing, which is pretty stupid if you ask me. A PS5 and Xbox Series S/X port followed on March 6, 2021, and a Switch version came out on June 25th, 2021. Had it not been for the EGS crap, I play a lot of modern games on PC, me playing Yakuza Like a Dragon at the time, and not wanting to support Activision because ethics, I probably would have been singing this game's praises sooner since I do love the THPS franchise. Well, thanks to this game being free on PS Plus for the month of August, I was able to play it and, hot damn, this game is fun. THPS 1 and 2 takes all the classic levels from the first two games, keeps the classic gameplay intact, and provides a whole bunch of new improvements that already took these amazing games from back then and puts them well into modern times. To sum up the gameplay, you'll pick a level to jump into. They're split into the levels from 1 or 2. Once you select the level, you'll have 2 minutes to get as many goals done as you can. High score, skate, finding objects, etc. If you played any of the past games, you'll pick up on this immediately. Hell, even if you've only played 4 and on, you'll pick up on it. There's even some mechanics here taken from later games. Reverts, spine transfers, wall plants, being able to switch between certain trick types, and performing enhanced tricks like double flips. You can switch back to the old way of doing it in the original 2 games, but I'm not a fan of this personally. You'll also find stat points and vicarious icons to pick up. The stat points help make your skater better. It's that simple. The career mode has 2 tours, a crew tour which you can use any skater for all progression, and a solo tour where it only unlocks for the specific skater you choose. You've also got ranked and free skate modes to compete for points against other players. You got the create a park mode like other Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, so you can make your own park to skate in. You've also got multiplayer options, both local and online. You can do tag, combo mambo, combo challenge, score challenge, trick attack, and graffiti. You can also do horse, but only locally. The roster of skaters here is pretty good. Every pro from the first 2 games returns with updated looks to reflect their modern appearances. New skaters include Leo Baker, Tyshawn Jones, Aori Nishimura, and Shane O'Neill. Some of the skaters included actually came from that middle ground of when Tony Hawk games were meh. These include Lizzie Armanto, Leticia Buffoni, Riley Hawk, and Nyjah Houston. There are also a few guest skaters. You have the unlockable Officer Dick, portrayed by Jack Black, the Skeleton Ripper, mascot of Powell Peralta, and a Roswell alien. You also have the ability to create your own skater like previous games, and you're given plenty of clothing, skateboard decks, wheels, and other choices to give your skater the look you want to give them. But what good is all this CAS and CAP parts if you can't access them? Well, this game has a unique way of unlocking things compared to the past games. New to this game are challenges. You'll do things like hit specific scores off specific gaps with a particular trick, get one combo equivalent to a stage's 6 score amount, and other crazy things like that. As you complete more challenges and play through the levels normally, you will earn XP to level yourself up to unlock more objects, and you'll earn cash to spend on all the CAS and CAP parts. Okay, so the only new part of this is how you get them. The spending cash part is not that different from previous games, but that's not a bad thing. With such fleshed out gameplay that's easy to pick up but difficult to master, you should have a strong grip over your character, and the controls really help with that. Everything works as it should, which you would hope for to get big points, and the added additions help with performing even more crazy combos. Now you see why I don't like to turn off or the other additions here to the tricks, because it basically feels like you're playing 3 and onwards with parts of Thug 1, 2, and American Wasteland in an updated version of 1 and 2. Things might seem a bit hard to grasp for newcomers, but once you get more stat points, everything is fine. It helps that Vicarious Visions obtained Neversoft's original handling code and made it feel updated while keeping it familiar, in addition to consulting with former team members. Menus are also easy to navigate, though they might take some getting used to since it's not as straightforward as the original games. The game also looks excellent. It runs on Unreal Engine 4, and it runs at a very smooth 60 FPS on consoles, at least on my PS4 Pro. UE4 brings details, smooth models, good lighting, clean textures, and generally puts the old school maps in a new school engine. All art assets were remade, so it would also look amazing in 4K. They're still familiar to veterans of the franchise, while still packing some new secrets not seen before. It helps that the level geometry is pretty similar to how it was in the original games. Lines are how you remember them. Newcomers will get lost in these maps very easily, and veterans will just breeze through it everywhere. Character models also look pretty good and are the best they've ever looked across the franchise. Oh, and the levels also, seemingly you might be able to go into new buildings that you couldn't before, which is pretty cool. Sound design is another strong aspect of the series. Voice acting is a bit limited since there isn't much to say, but what is said is good and fits the context of the game. Sound effects are accurate to skating in real life. Grinds, flips, wall rides, and the like sound like they should. Even the more outlandish effects have been updated to sound clear and crisp, like when you grind the helicopter in the hangar and it crashes the roof. It sounds better than the original game. Of course, what would this game be without its soundtrack? The THPS franchise's soundtracks have always been a strong point, and here is no different. Just about every song from 1 and 2 return. Goldfinger's Superman, the Ernie's Here and Now, Primus's Jerry Was a Race Car Driver for 1, and you get the idea. For 2, Rage Against the Machine's Guerrilla Radio, Papa Roach's Blood Brothers, Bad Religion's You, and just about every other song you can think of from the first 2 games. I say just about because 3 songs are gone. 1 loses Unsane's Committed, and 2 loses the High and Mighty's B-Boy Document 99 and Alley Life's Out with the Old. Despite this, they more than made up for it by adding 37 new tracks, with songs that would fit in the old game's soundtrack, with songs by Real Big Fish, Sublime, and A Tribe Called Quest amongst others, with some more modern choices with songs by Billy Talent, MXPX, Machine Gun Kelly, and many more. You can't turn off individual songs you don't want, so if you just want the OG songs, you can do that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is not just a great starting point for people looking to get into the series, but it's also a nostalgic blast from the past for veterans of the series. It looks excellent, it controls damn near perfectly, everything is faithfully recreated, the challenges add a new sense of replayability, the sound across the board is awesome, and there is plenty to keep you coming back. The only real complaints I have is that the multiplayer doesn't have much, no horse online. The only other collectibles besides challenges are stat points grinding, which can get a bit boring, and the loss of the 3 songs from the first 2 games does hurt a bit. But these flaws are only minor and don't detract from the overall game. I can recommend this game to not just veterans, but newcomers alike. Vicarious Visions did the unthinkable and not just brought back THPS to life, but they did it in such a way that the game is damn near perfect. I give Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 a perfect 5 out of 5 with a badass seal of approval. I wish I played this sooner. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.